Hey everyone, this is Anthony again. I'm going to give you another update as our storm parameters have increased since yesterday. And I want to start off by saying anybody down from South Carolina up through Pennsylvania needs to have a tornado action plan ready to go tomorrow afternoon and evening because this is an event we don't see very often in this region. This is going to be extremely severe and a little bit worrisome, especially for this time of the year. Level 4 out of 5 risk. We'll get into it in a second, but this rarely happens where we are. So let's take a look at the current satellite. That's what this is. And here you can see all this green. This is thunderstorms popping up, and we already have tornado warnings from Arkansas up into Illinois. We also have a full-fledged blizzard in Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, 60, 70 mile-an-hour winds and feet of snow. And this is all just going to move to the east and strengthen. Take a look at the hazards right this moment. And you can see we have blizzard warnings in Iowa in red. And just down here in yellow, these are tornado watches. This is how potent the system is. Everything in brown is a wind warning, and that's all going to move to the east tomorrow. So let's go through the different parameters and what they mean. This is our categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. A level 4 out of 5 risk, like I said before, from South Carolina up through uh, Maryland. A level 3 out of 5 risk enhanced from Georgia up through Pennsylvania, a little part of New Jersey. A level 2 out of 5 risk in yellow from New York State down the coast, New Jersey, all the way to Florida, Georgia, and a level 1 out of 5 for the rest of the green area. This is driven by a tornado chance of, you see here, you see this hatching, these little lines. This means that any tornadoes could occur, be at least EF2 strength. So we are looking at some strong tornadoes in any region that has these lines. And the greatest chance 15%, is from Maryland to South Carolina in red. 10% chance from Georgia up through Pennsylvania, 5% chance from upstate New York down to Florida, and a 2% chance surrounding that. Wind is the main driver. The wind is going to really be the biggest concern and the biggest reason for our tornadoes. We have what's called a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. It's basically a squall line that has going to have tornadoes out in front of it. But these are our wind parameters. And again, you see the hatching. This means in this area, you could have wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour. You have the best chance coinciding exactly with our tornado locations at a 60% chance. You have 45% chance in purple, a 30% chance in red, a 15% chance in yellow, and a 5% chance in brown. So let's go through the different layers of the atmosphere quick. What's changed? The storm system has slowed, and that has allowed for daytime heating to be maximized before the lifting parameters get here. So we have destabilization in the atmosphere, usually caused by warming through the day. The less clouds you have, the more destabilization. This is actually part of the reason New Jersey is not going to be likely in the tornado aspect of it, because there's going to be a lot of cloud cover and the destabilization won't be as strong as some areas. However, you have the lifting parameters also, and they are all just perfect over the North Carolina up to Maryland area. This is 250 millibars. This is where our airplanes fly, and our highest area of lift is always on the right side of this purple, and that is Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina. You go down to 500 millibars, and you see that the winds are, again, you have your jet streak right here. You have a negatively tilted trough, and you have all the kick going into the same area that I talked about just now. You can go down to 700 millibars a little further down, and you have lift at that region. Little short waves, they call these, and that's going to provide lift over this same area. And at the surface, you will have lift from our cold front, if I can show it to you, and here it is. When the cold front comes through, it's going to also provide the last level of lift. 850 millibars is where our winds are, and this is why we have so many wind warnings. Here is what's called a low-level jet, and you can see the jet max over our area of the 60% region, which is Maryland down to North Carolina, South Carolina. There's also purple here in New Jersey, but these may not be maximized. Again, because we don't have as many lifting parameters as they do down here. These are 70, 75 knot winds, and that can translate to an 80 to 85 mile an hour wind at the surface. Again, you have all these lifting parameters. You need something to lift. And if we go to our, we're going to go to our CAPE. And our CAPE is our convective available potential energy, and this is what can be lifted into the atmosphere. This is the part that creates a thunderstorm, basically. And we can see you need about 600 to 700 in a regime like this to have a tornadic outbreak. And we have 1800, 1500. We have plenty of over 1200 joules per kilogram of CAPE in the North Carolina, Virginia area, and up to 800 up into Pennsylvania and New York State. And it's a very expansive warm sector right there is what we call that. And when the front comes through, we're going to have low level spin, another thing that can create tornadoes. You need the spin at low levels to have the tornado genesis. So if you look at where we had those numbers of the CAPE, you can also see that we have extreme spin. Anything over 100 is high, and we're having 160s, but we're also having, as the event goes on, some levels that are getting into the 300 range. This is some real spin in the atmosphere, and can create some tornadoes quickly. So I'm going to bring you through the precipitation and timing of all of this. So in the morning, overnight tonight, we're going to have our warm front pull through, and this is going to give us rounds of rain in New Jersey, Delaware, which will limit the destabilization of the atmosphere, but still give us thunderstorms in the afternoon. So overnight tonight, rain with some prefrontal storms right here. Discrete storms in North Carolina and Virginia, and there could be a little bit of a tornado threat overnight tonight for this region. Then as the day goes on, we have our destabilization during the day, and then our next round comes in around from 2 p.m. to about 8 p.m. And this is probably when the worst of the tornado outbreak could be, because these are all prefrontal cells that are pushed forward from the cold front, which is back here, and these are tornadoes that if they get discrete, which by themselves, they can continue for a long time, especially in an environment with this much wind. And then behind that, so that's around 2 p.m. to about 7 p.m. And then after that, you have our squall line. Our squall line will have our most winds. That will pull through from about 7 p.m. to about midnight, maybe a little later. And this is when we're going to have the strongest wind gusts from South Carolina all the way up to New York, 70, 80 miles an hour. New Jersey will get 50 to 60 at least. Thunderstorms, even small hail, and possibly embedded tornadoes within this squall line. Behind this, you can see all this mess. This is snow squalls. So we're on top of everything else, we're going to have an extreme temperature drop and snow squalls forming behind it. But we're not concerned about snow squalls right now. We are concerned about tornadoes. So basically, the event is going to start overnight. It's going to go. It's going to start around the convective part of it. The thunderstorm part of it will start around 1 or 2 o'clock. We're going to have another round around 4 to 8 o'clock, and then it'll finalize up through midnight. Again, have a tornado action plan. Have warnings set up on your phone. Tell people, if you know them in the area, that this is an event that needs to be taken extremely seriously. School will be letting out around the time these storms will be, discrete and reaching, high strength. And it is very important that you are prepared for this event because this just doesn't happen. The level 4 out of 5 for this area is very extreme. So if there's any more updates, if there is an increase, if there is a decrease, I will let you know. But right now we are looking like we're getting a bullseye tomorrow in the North Carolina to Maryland and central Pennsylvania area. The rest of it will have plenty of thunderstorms. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch up again soon.